Number one, we're going to factor out by pulling out the GCF. All right, so we want to find the GCF. So the GCF is called the greatest common factor. We have to break up the number 6x. That can be split up into 2 times 3. Then there's the x there. Number 3 can just be split to just a 3. What I'm circling here is the pair that they have in common, which is 3. So the GCF here is going to be 3. So we pull out a 3, and what we have here is what we have left. Okay, what is left from the 6x is a 2 and an x. So we write 2x here. We bring down that plus. What is left from that 3 here is this number here, which is just a multiply by 1. So it's just a 1 here. Okay, we can double check by distributing. So if you don't believe me, you can just distribute back in. 3 times 2x, which is 6x. 3 times 1, which is 3. Okay, that is how you can double check your work. Right? That's how we know it's valid. Okay, let's look at B here. We're trying to find the GCF. So we're going to break down 10x squared, and then we're also going to break down 35x. 10 squared can be broken down into 2 times 5, and the x squared can be broken up by x times x. The 35 can be broken down into 7 times 5 times an x. What I'm circling here is the greatest common factor, which is the x and the 5. So the greatest common factor is 5x. So if we pull out the greatest common factor of 5x, what we have in parentheses is what we have left. From the 10x squared, we have a 2 and an x left, so 2x. Bring down the plus. What we have left from the 35x is just a 7. Let's look at C. Here, we're trying to find the GCF of these 3 terms, so we have to break up the 3 terms. 2x squared can be broken down into 2 times x times x. That 16x can be broken down into, I think, 2 times 8 times x. And then the 24 can be broken down into 2 times 12. The reason why I don't break down those 8 and 12 down further is because I already have a pair of, I have a 3 2's here, and that 2x cannot be broken down anymore. So the GCF here is going to be considered to be 2. What is left over here is we have an x and an x. So what is left over from the 2x squared is x squared. What is left over from the 16x is an 8 times x, so 8x. And what is left over from that 24 is just a value of 12. D. Let's first of all try to find a GCF. So we have 3x cubed breaks down into 3 times x times x times x. We have a negative 9x squared, can be broken down into a negative 1 because that's for the negative. 3 times 3 for that 9, and x times x. Then we have the negative 12x, can be broken down into 4. Let me write that negative 1 first. Negative 1 times 4 times 3 times x. I have one pair of x's here, right? And I have a pair of 3's. Sorry, I have triple 3's here, right? So my GCF is going to be 3x. So I pull out a 3x here from each term. What I'm left from the first term is a x squared. Okay, then there's a negative times x times 3. So that is a minus 3x. Then here I have a minus 4. So that's what I get after I factor out the GCF from each of the problems.